Oh, everybody just saw my big fat ass then.
I don't think anybody did, actually.
I think it did. It came up on the screen.
It didn't come up on my screen.
My big fat ass was on the screen. How's everybody? How's everyone today? Hope everyone is all okay. Just want to make sure that you can hear me. Hope I'm okay loudness-wise. Let me know if you want me louder. And Louise?
Can you hear me?
And is Louise right, the sound in this? We're just trying to play around with some sound at the moment, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we need sound from you, yes. So hope everyone's all okay. Looks good. Everyone, how is it all going? Stacey,
yep, looks good,
hello,
looks good.
Hello. How's everyone doing today? Hope everyone's doing just well. Good, excellent. And I hope everyone enjoyed the pricing workshop that we did last Monday. It did take us several weeks to organise that, didn't it?
It did. We worked quite hard on it, didn't we? Very hard, in fact.
We did work hard, and we also have the spreadsheet, which was being adjusted and added to as we spoke.
Yep. See, we're always looking for ways to improve things, aren't we?
Absolutely. I have to excuse me, I'm just drinking my coffee a second. So I'm glad everyone enjoyed the pricing workshop. That was really good, wasn't it? We did enjoy that. It was a lot of talk and a lot of information to take in, and a few bits and pieces to be put on the board as well. So I hope everyone enjoyed that. It's live on At The Bench at the moment. If you have been a paid member, you should have had your login details by now, and I hope that you have seen it. We have had 1,300 views on that at least so far over the past 2 or 3 days.
Last time we checked, it was thereabouts, wasn't it?
So yeah, we've had thousands of views on that, which is really good. Thank you all very much. Don't forget, if you're a paid member of At The Bench or you paid for the course, you can always come back to us for a little bit of help as well. And the spreadsheet is constantly being amended as we get requests from people. I think we've had an amendment already since we went live, haven't we, Liz?
I think the mod added, I think you guys wanted an additional costs column, which has been added, but bear in mind the additional costs column doesn't mark up. So it's just basically adds on to the costs columns. So if you want to mark it up, you have to factor it in actually in the column, the additional cost column. I hope I'm not.
Yeah, so it's like the assay charges that we were charging. We were not making any market. We're not making a profit on that. So
we don't. But we don't.
Yeah,
we don't personally. But what you do is we're not here to tell people what to do. We're just here to tell people how we do things.
How we organise things.
Ways to do things.
Take from it you want. And so we are busy preparing for the next pricing workshop, which is going to take into account a lot more things. It's going to be a lot of
lie downs in darkened rooms, I think.
It's definitely a lot of lying downs in darkened rooms. So we're looking at things like websites. So we're going to maybe looking at things like paid for advertising. We're going to be looking at things, overheads, depreciation, and everything that is involved with really
admin. We could go on and on, couldn't we?
Absolutely, yes.
Beyond the scope of today.
Be way beyond. So that's what we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks. And 2 weeks is the I just cannot open the spreadsheet. Do I need to save it first, then go back? Yes, you do. You do need to save it to your computer, which I would definitely do. I would save a copy as well, so you've always got the original. So save it as a copy under your own name or whatever it would be. Then you can work on that. And if you do make a mistake, you can always go back to your originally downloaded copy. If you do want to refresh everything and put everything back to zero.
Yes, and if you have any problems, just drop me a line. I'll help you out with that.
Yes, because I know when you click on the links open up. When you click on the handouts open up. When you click on the spreadsheet, it asks you to download it. So you can download it and take it from there. Is that Nick?
Nick, new person. Yay,
excellent.
Nick, welcome.
Good to see you, Nick. Glad to see you today. Good. Have any questions, please do ask them. What else have we got to say? So 2 weeks today is going to be the next workshop. There's going to be the professional, not really the professional, but the jeweler who has property, who has a paid for workshop,
premises,
that would have the next level up and that's what we're going to be looking at next time. And I think that means we're going to have to be getting another spreadsheet for that.
I think we are, yeah.
It's going to incorporate everything that we did in the last workshop, plus that little bit more as well. And don't forget, if you're a paid member of At The Bench, it's all included in your membership. You'll be able to get the download of that spreadsheet as well. And if you're not a paid member of At The Bench, we will be putting it up on social media for you to be able to buy the workshop. It's £15, lifetime access. You can download all the handouts, download the spreadsheets you can use yourself. £15 for that amazing spreadsheet, worth its weight in gold. It'll save you and it'll assist you, which is really pleased. I'm really pleased with the fact that sometimes we actually wing it, don't we, the pricing. Sometimes we wing it by looking at it and go,
but it makes you realise you really shouldn't.
You absolutely, and we've been lucky. When we put those wing it prices into these spreadsheets, it actually came out within a couple of pounds. So I suppose that's where experience comes into it.
Yeah, but it's always good to check anyway, no matter how experienced you are. It's good to, make sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Do the maths. Cool.
So that's what we're going to be looking at in 2 weeks' time, and then we've got the next workshop after that as well, which is going to be on Bank Holiday Monday.
Is it?
I don't know what date I can't remember what day we're on now.
That's the last Monday in
August. That's the last Monday in August. It's a bank holiday, but Louise and I will be here, and we're going to be looking at. You said you were going to be here. You said let's be here. So
okay, I didn't realise it was confirmed, but okay, yeah.
Oh, is it not confirmed yet?
No, it is now. Yes, I'm happy to. Yes, I'm raring to go. Yeah,
happy to. So that workshop's going to be all about, or the next workshop that
it's quite nice actually when the shop is closed, isn't it?
Get my nail in it.
Okay, while you're doing that, I booked on a course. I'm super excited. I am taking a course with Kerry Gregory, Gemology Rocks, 30th of September. I'm going to be taking a course in gemstone spectroscopy. So spectroscopy, yes, the spectroscope. So the spectroscope, I've actually got mine to show you, is a little doofer which basically enables you to examine which parts of white light are absorbed by a gemstone and which parts of white light are transmitted. So you can get these for about £80 on Gem-A. There's lots of places you can get them. Mine's from Gem-A. So yeah, I'm doing the course. So it's really handy to help identify gemstones, really. And it's quite exciting when you see an absorption spectrum of a stone. So if
absolute nerd.
No, it really is.
It's amazing when you see this.
It is exciting. It's really exciting. And some stones you can look at and it's diagnostic, so you can actually determine, like peridot. If you looked at a peridot, you could. And other stones show really strong patterns. So yeah, it's a really it is. Stacey, it is exciting. Thank you. It's a really good piece of kit. It seems very straightforward, but you do need some help and some guidance to use it. I certainly did and still do anyway. So I'm super excited to go and do that.
Excellent.
So yeah, 30th, and I've got the link in Cardiff. It's a Friday, and it's in Llandaff, I think, which is a gorgeous Insole Court. Yeah, a gorgeous listed building. Yeah, it's really lovely. And Kerry is just fab, and I always rave about her and say she's brilliant, but she really is. And you'll have a great day and get to see loads of cool stuff.
Sandy, I tried to download today but can't open it or download it without paying. Sandy, are you a paid member of At The Bench, or have you paid for the workshop? Please let us know with that, and we will certainly look into it for you.
On the subject of gemology, I treated myself.
Hang on a second. Sandy, let us know, or email Louise with the email address that you have used if you are a paid member, or if you paid for the course, and we will certainly look into it for you. Sorry, Louise, yes.
That's okay. I was going to say, on the subject of gemology, I treated myself to...
The book, to end all books, in my opinion.
So, Gem Testing by Alan Hodgkinson is a really important gemology book. I can't remember when the first edition was. I should have found out, shouldn't I? But it's been recently... it's recently come back into print, first printed 2015. It is absolutely brilliant. It's not cheap, but £165, but in my opinion, it's worth every single penny. They're really in demand. I think they were on hold for a little while, but they're coming back into availability in the next week or two. So I'll pop the link up into the chat, because basically it isn't cheap, but it is the life's work of a leading expert. And like I say, it's worth every single penny, and it's just absolutely jam-packed with amazing information.
Photographs.
Yeah,
Colour
the
images.
photographs, the photography is brilliant in there, the information. It reads almost like it was written by your favourite college lecturer. You feel like you know him. But yeah, definitely. Has anybody got it?
Don't know.
Let me
Find
know.
Out. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, you haven't got it. So I keep that by my bed, and I'm reading a bit every night. I absolutely.
By the bed, yeah.
I absolutely love it.
That, yeah. I can vouch for that. By the
Yeah,
bed.
it's brilliant. So I just wanted to show you that as well.
Excellent. Sandy, please drop Louise your email address, and we will look into it for you if you haven't done so already. Okay, how's it going? What are we doing?
Doing a Q&A, aren't we?
Is Jim Bettridge on? I do believe. Is Jim Bettridge? Hello, Jim. How are you, Jim? Good afternoon.
Jim, yes, Jim is on. Yeah.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Right, Louise, should we start?
Yes, please.
I am actually cooking again today.
It's boiling. It's hotter than I thought.
It's gone hotter.
I wish I hadn't worn this dress now.
Wish I hadn't worn mine either. But there we go. Right, everyone, it's Monday, the 1st of August already. Where's the year going? 1st of August, we're going to go another August, September. We've got 5 more months before Christmas. August the 1st, 4 p.m, time for our Q&A. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Louise, may we have our first question? You haven't got your first question?
No, I've been talking about gemstones.
You're too busy talking about gemstones.
Let's see. Sorry. The first question.
Everyone. What I like about this group, the whole chat, is that everyone comes on, everyone just chats between themselves, which is absolutely fabulous. Which I absolutely love. It's really, really good.
Got a question.
Excellent.
Right,
fire away.
Rebecca. Oh, I've got some lovely photos from Rebecca to show you as well. Is it possible to move metal into a stone when setting with a hammer for them without destroying the surface of the setting, i.e. it has to be ground down and polished? Is it possible to move metal onto a stone when setting with a hammer?
Yes.
Without destroying the surface of the setting?
It
has to be ground down and polished.
It's not necessarily going to be destroyed because the metal has to be displaced, doesn't it? It's a bit close, Andrew. You can see all me greys. So the idea is you've got your piece of metal. So a lot of people would use a straight-sided setting burr, okay, which would give you that sort of shape when you went down, which is great because that's the exact sort of shape you need for stones, because the stones are pretty much that shape. But the best thing, if you really want to minimize the displacement of metal on the surfaces, is to use one of these to within about a 1/10 of a millimeter smaller than the diameter. Okay, so once you've done that, then you swap out that burr, and then you come along to a 90-degree setting burr, okay, which is the right size. No, it's not, which is still a 1/10 or a 1/5 of a millimeter smaller. And what the idea is then, you put this into the hole, and what you want to do is put the burr down and move the burr so it just undercuts a little bit, like that. Okay, so you're using this edge here to undercut, so you get a little bit of an undercut like that. Okay, so that then is the shape, and the idea is then, and this will only really work on hard stones, so things like rubies and sapphires and diamonds. Very difficult to do this with anything softer. There's going to be a quartz or anything like that, because it may be too brittle and the edges could crack. The idea is then you put the stone on top, the stone will sort of fit in at a funny angle, okay, like that, because it's not going to fit in all the way. All right, so the stone then won't be able to drop down into the hole because it's just that little bit too short. How can I draw this? There we go. That's it, like that there. And the idea is then the stone then will click down into place, and then the stone is this shape, okay, and the actual setting then is that shape, okay. And then once you've done that and the stone has clicked into place, all you got to do then is just gently burnish over that edge a fraction just to hold that stone into place. Whereas if you went along and you had your straight-sided setting burr like that into a hole, okay, so here's your hole, you then have to move the metal that you have put in further, okay, because you then have to move the metal this distance here, which is going to displace the metal, which is going to make the metal come down, which is going to not destroy the surface, but it's going to mark the metal and move the metal more than what it would do is if you could just click the setting, click the stone into place. So don't forget, straight-sided setting burr, about 1/5 of a millimetre diameter smaller, get a 90-degree setting burr, that same size, and just put it into the hole and just run it around to do a slight undercut, and the stone should just click into place. You may need to just make the hole slightly bigger to allow it just so there's resistance to click down into place, and then you'll get hardly any displacement of metal on the surface. A long answer to a very quick question, but I hope that does help you. Louise, let's have another question.
Good. Sandra's saying, does anyone use a diamond cutting wheel on their flex shaft to cut jump ring coils instead of sawing them? Is it better or no different?
What do you diamond cutting wheel? Now, it depends on the thickness of your diamond cutting wheel. With the jump ring makers that Durston produce, they supply you with a serrated blade, the same sort of blade that goes on a ring cutter. Now that serrated blade is very thin, I think it's about 1/3 of a millimetre. The problem that you may find is if you do have a diamond slitting disc, try saying that fast, a diamond slitting disc, shut up, a diamond slitting disc, you may find it may be thicker than that sort of, almost like that, it's like a circular saw, isn't it? So then you're going to have problems then trying to put the jump rings together nice and tight, because you're going to have to allow for that cutout to move them towards each other. I would always come along with a piercing saw, and I would always physically cut them by hand, because I know I got the most minimal amount of wastage of metal, and also the thickness of the saw blade is thinner than anything else, and then you can easily close those jump rings nice and close without having to push them together, if that makes sense. Whew, that's another question now.
Okay, do you want to see some photos first?
Oh, photographs, yes please.
Yeah, I got some photographs. So
yes,
Rebecca, who a lot of you know from the chat, has sent me some photographs of her atelier, which I think is French or German for workshop. But I'd like to start calling our workshop the atelier, because I think it sounds a lot more glamorous than workshop. So
can I show?
Yes, please.
Okay. Wrong one.
So yeah, Rebecca is in Germany. Look how cool.
That is cool.
This building where Rebecca works is, where's my information? Is from the year 1570.
Wow.
So the actual area that Rebecca works in is 4 by 4 square meters. But look at this. I just love how it's so gorgeous as well as being functional.
It's very like in keeping, isn't it? Really nice, isn't it?
How fabulous. What else have we got? I just love the fact that there's plants, there's loads and loads of natural light, there's pictures on the wall.
Isn't that nice? That's a lovely place to work, isn't it?
Isn't it beautiful?
Yes.
Orchids,
nice.
I love an orchid.
Got your drawer bench underneath.
Just everything's just there in its place, isn't it? Isn't it fabulous?
But that's cold in the winter.
Is it cold in the winter, Rebecca? I think it's lush.
It is nice, isn't it?
So, as well as that, Rebecca sent me something that she's been working on, which is, where is it? Where's my information? So the heart is 925 extra large silver heart pendant with mammoth ivory beads, all of which is handcrafted in my atelier in Germany. So the heart was sand cast, and hollow sand cast, and Rebecca added a back to it. It's a total of 26 grams, and this is jewellery item for traditional Bavarian clothing worn at festivals. How cool.
That is good, isn't it?
That's lovely. We should mention mammoth ivory is legal.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Elephant ivory, no, is a big no-no. Mammoth ivory is okay.
Okay.
And I think it's because the tundra melts every year, obviously in the summer, and more ivory is being uncovered, particularly because of global warming. The permafrost melts and more ivory is being found. We're in a bit of an ivory rush at the moment.
Okay, so if you find it,
mammoth ivory, sorry, yeah.
So if you find the mammoth ivory, you can use it.
I think it's more.
Yeah.
It's it's legal to trade in as well.
Okay.
Because if you found ivory on the floor, you just can't buy it, or you can't sell it, can you? It's illegal.
Yes.
Yeah.
A certain date you can.
Can you?
Yes. If it's so old, if there's a certain.
But how do you
age,
know?
I don't know.
This is because you can tell the difference.
Would your book tell you?
There is actually a brilliant chapter in here on ivory, all kinds of ivory. But the way to tell between elephant ivory and mammoth ivory is the lines, the pattern. Ivory has a grain, and they're called Schrager lines, and it looks like an engine turn pattern. I don't know why I'm doing that. It looks a bit like that. So in mammoth ivory, the lines intersect at a narrower, I think it's less than 90 degrees.
Okay.
In mammoth ivory. In elephant ivory, they intersect wider, like 115-ish, maybe. So that's how you tell.
Well, wow.
There you are.
Do you know, it's amazing what you learn in these Q&As.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that in because the ivory, mammoth ivory is fine.
Exactly.
But how gorgeous is that?
Fantastic. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Cool. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for sending that in. That was really cool to see.
Let's have another question.
Okay. Kenneth is making a chain for a pocket watch from 0.8mm sterling wire. He's tried to use the dust and jump ring maker without success.
What's the problem, basically? Are you having problems coiling it, Kenneth, or you having problems cutting it? I've had some problems with using that circular saw with the number 30 Jacobs handpiece. I have had problems with it. Sometimes I feel that if the jump rings are too thick, you can't bring it through and cut through all the coil. Personally, as I said a little while ago, I would rather come along and hold the coil and cut through the links one by one. A little tip here is to thread your blade through the coils, okay? Thread the blade through the coils and then, tighten up the saw, and then hold the coil in your hand and just simply cut out. And as you cut away, it's a lot easier than trying to hold onto the coil and cut down into the coil. So you can have the coil vertical like this, have your saw inside and angle the saw slightly forwards and cut through, and you're going to find you're going to get a better finish. Also, what is also quite a good idea is once you've got the coil, is to put a little bit of masking tape around the coil to hold it as well, and that may make life a lot easier. But I find using those circular saws with these not 100% guaranteed, thin copper, not so bad. Anything thicker than that, as soon as the blade starts to become slightly blunt, it's going to overheat and you're going to see smoke coming off it because you've got to lubricate the blade with a bit of beeswax or a bit of burr life beforehand, and sometimes it just doesn't work. So cut them off by hand. I think you'll have a greater success. And if that's not what the problem is, just please let us know and we shall certainly do our very best. Lots of nice comments. The workshop was great, much appreciated. The pricing workshop was great. Thank you for the spreadsheet. You are very welcome. Andrew, do you have a pattern for articulated earrings? Okay, cool. Sorry, Louise, let's have another question.
Andrew, do you have a pattern for articulated earrings?
I have no idea what that means.
They look like herringbone. I think I know what you mean. Like they move. Do you know like my articulated clown pendant that I put out the other day, and it moves.
Yeah.
Articulated is.
Yeah. I don't know what sort of pattern.
Look like herringbone. Is it like hinged?
Give me a bit more information. Susan, just ask me another question. Just give me some more information.
See if I could only. Oh, no, none of them.
Susan,
I know what you mean, Susan. Oh, here, these. I think I think Susan means like that, so that they, like a, do you mean like a fish's spine?
I'm not quite sure why I would have
or a spine, like a spine, that sort of thing.
like a spine.
Like a spine.
Oops,
Is that what you mean, Susan?
Oh, I just lost you, Louise. There we go. That's better. There we go. I don't know whether I have one or not. I don't know what you mean. Sorry, Susan. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think I know what you mean.
Perhaps you can draw me a pattern then. Let's have another question then.
I wouldn't like to attempt that. We like your diagrams, don't we? Julia has a question.
Yes.
I want to make a hollow bangle. At what stage would I get a UK hallmark put on, and where would be the best to put it? I'm worried about the bangle getting distorted.
It doesn't matter. The assay office have stakes. So if you give them something that is U-section, that is like this, okay, and you want the hallmark stamped down here, not a problem, because what they'll do, they will get a stake like that, that's your stake, that will match the curvature to the curvature of this, and then they will stamp in here. So, or whatever it would be, perhaps it's slightly shallower. So I wouldn't worry too much. You'd be better off paying for a laser mark. Lasers are pretty much run-of-the-mill standard these days. Perhaps you would go for a deep etch. Is it Louise, a deep etch? A deep etch laser mark, and you would have that.
Yeah, I think they call it deep relief.
Deep relief.
I think they call it, yeah.
Deep relief, and you'd have that, and
it's not my words.
No, I didn't say it was. No. And you would have that put on perhaps after you've polished it and everything is all done. If they laser mark it, there's only a little bit of like soot on the surface that you can simply wipe off. They won't mark the back side of it or anything like that. If you do have it physically stamped, they may mark the opposite surface underneath that may need to be polished. So when would you do it on a hollow section bangle? Laser, last thing. You've polished it, you've rouged it, you send it off. If you're having it stamped by hand, I would send it off just before you put your final polish on it. So you would have it perhaps pre-polished, so when it comes back, all you got to do is just buff the little area and then polish it.
Good.
And they should not distort it.
I think this is what Susan means. So yeah, like that sort of thing.
I don't know how I would produce a pattern for that.
A pattern?
Yeah.
But they move. Like, do you know like a snake you get at the fairground with the...
Yes.
And it goes like that.
So it's that shape, and then the piece comes in like that, and this is like a pin going
that's
through.
what she means, yeah.
Like that, and then that other piece then fits in like that.
That sort of thing, yeah, so it moves, that's articulated.
I can't see that on the board. There we go, that's better. Like that. No, I haven't done a pattern for that.
A pattern or a patent?
Pattern.
A pattern.
I haven't done a pattern for that.
Can you do one?
No idea, but then...
I think that would look really cool.
I'm not quite sure how you just have to make it up by hand. You'd have to have the repeated per sections, make them out of wax, get them cast.
Oh yeah, that'd be the quickest way, wouldn't it?
Put them all together, yeah.
Otherwise it might get very repetitive.
And Sean's are all different sizes. They're getting smaller and smaller and smaller on.
But I think makes it even nicer.
Okay. Okay, yes, so there we go.
Good, okay.
No.
Yeah, sorry Sue. Okay, Terry is saying, some advice please on getting a mirror finish on silver. Tried but still have tiny hair scratches left.
Your hair scratches are due to dirty mops. Usually there's some crossover from your Tripoli onto your rouge mop. Always keep your mop separate, so your Tripoli mop separate from your rouge mop. When you've polished with Tripoli, you've got to put your rouge mop on, but always take your piece and clean it in the ultrasonic or warm soapy water so no Tripoli gets carried over onto the rouge mop. The other thing that you could do, I will show you now actually, that I've got over here to clean your mops, and there we go. You like this, Louise? I don't know why you like this, to be honest. This looks a bit like torture. The torture.
Oh, I don't like these things.
So what I would advise...
Why would I like them?
I don't know. What I would advise you to do is to dress your mops. You should always do this every few goes with your Tripoli, definitely with your Tripoli. And they are these. They are pieces of, this is a bit of 4x2 planed wood, and we have simply screwed through really sharp nails. Okay, so there's that one there, or there's this one here. Make sure that you've got some way of holding on to it, that way there, or this is even better. Okay, and the idea is then you would get your polishing mop, you'd set it off on the polishing motor, you would hold this, and you would move it back and forth as the mop rotates to dress you, or to get rid of any fibres, any loose fibres, to make sure that the surface hasn't been completely not matted, but bonded together. I would do that on Tripoli. I'd also do it on your rouge. If you're having problems with your rouge, get something like this, move it along your rouge to try and get rid of all those loose fibres. Okay, so the idea is then you set fire to those loose fibres to get rid of all the loose fibres. And sometimes it is those fibres that are coming round that's actually scratching the metal. If you're not using a bench mounted polishing motor and you're using these little guys like this here, okay, these little guys, little soft woolen mops, exactly the same way. Perhaps this is a little bit overkill, but if you get like an old kitchen fork, you can use that just to go over and to make sure that the surface of these is lovely and smooth. Any stray long hairs are going to be coming around and whipping the surface and causing slight marks. Only use a final polish. I always use a Menzerner high finish polish on something with that very, very soft mop. So the harder the mop, the rougher the polish. The softer the mop, the finer the finish. So that's the way I would do it. And if you do that, and perhaps if you've got some slight marks on it, turn the metal at 90 degrees and go over it again. Perhaps you could even finish off with a mop like that with hardly any polish on it at all. Again, have too much polish, it's causing some abrasion. The least amount of polish doesn't cause hardly any abrasion and really sort of burnishes the surface. So you've got to make sure your mops are absolutely spotless. Louise, let's have another question.
Good, okay. Oh, I'm jumping a bit, hang on. Susan said, going back to the herringbone, is it a ball and socket?
I don't think it would quite be...
That would work though, wouldn't it?
Yes.
It's probably a bit more labour intensive.
But each piece is going to have to be that section, okay? Yep. And then the next piece to fit in is going to have to be that section. So it would have to be something like that. So this here matches that there. Okay, so that's then is where the next piece is going to go in. Like that. So it's not really a ball, it's more like a Y shape, and the bottom of the Y fits in with the next section, and then there's a hole drilled through here, hole drilled through, hole drilled through. That is just simply articulated in one direction. It will not be necessarily be articulated in this direction, just front and back with that. But this here has to match that side there. So it has to have sides to give it strength to do that. So if you're making this multiples of this, this is the section you're going to have.
It's going to move more organically then, isn't it, as well, if you ball and socket rather than a hinge?
It's going to be very hard to get a socket to go around the ball. It's going to be hardly impossible for that. So you have to try and burnish it around the ball. I'm not quite sure how to do that. And there's lots of, that's safer. The ball and socket is going to be pulled apart easily.
Let us know how you get on, so I really want to see now. Cool.
Yes.
Going back to the click into place technique for the stone.
Yes.
Sandra's asking, are there some stones hardnesses that won't work?
Yes. Things like, what's a brittle stone? Emeralds. So emeralds, how about quartz? Not that.
Not as brittle as.
The edges are going to be quite brittle, I would have thought. So you can safely get away with things like diamond and sapphire and ruby.
Have a look at Sally's book.
Yep, Sally Spencer's
Sally's book will tell you because there's hardness and there's toughness.
That's me.
So you'd need it's the toughness you're worrying about as well, because toughness is not the same as hardness. Toughness is your body property, and the stone's resistance to fracture and cleavage and general just annihilation and breaking, and hardness is the resistance to scratching. So all that information is in Sally's brilliant book.
Pop a link on there, and we are still producing them, but we've still got stock. We had a whole load of books just the other day from Sally. We put it up on Insta, and half of them went already. We've got a whole bunch to be sent out.
They're here.
So we do.
Yeah.
So if you want a copy of Sally Spencer's book, I can never remember. It's the
Jeweler's
quick
reference guide.
Quick
reference guide to gemstones.
That's the one.
You're welcome.
We are still offering that with free postage. Everybody else is charging for postage. The book has gone up a couple of pounds. Sally has had to increase the price of the retail price of the book, but rest assured, we are offering free postage within the UK on that book. And I would what are you looking at that for, though?
Oh, I would just put,
do atthebench.store.
I'm on bench, that's something else.
Atthebench.store.
Sandra's saying I have the book. Yeah, all the information is in there.
Yes.
Susan's saying fibrous tends to be tough jade. Yeah, anything polycrystalline like that made up of lots of different aggregates will be tough in general.
Yeah.
I
must take that off.
But you don't have to remember it all, you can just get the book.
Yeah.
And it's,
exactly. The titanium strip offer is now closed. That should have come off yesterday. So Louise is just going to pop up onto the chat Sally Spencer's book. And there it is there.
Yes.
Cool. And don't forget, it is free postage within the UK on Sally's book. Excellent.
It's very different to Alan's book, isn't it? Because Alan's book is all about testing and really
scientific, isn't it?
Diving into it, yeah. And if you're interested in that, that's great for that. Yes. Learning about gemology and actually testing stones yourself. Sally's done all the hard work for you in this, and just
tell you what's what.
Exactly.
Oh, was $27.99 now just $25? Oh, what's happened there?
I don't know, but it's still coming up as.
It's $27.99.
What's it doing in the cart? Let me check. Yeah, it's still doing it. That's just an error. I don't know what that's, but it is coming up as $27.99. So yeah, that's just got to be.
We shall alter that.
I'll fiddle on that now. Hang on.
What's that?
I'll fiddle on that now.
You fiddle on that now? Good. Let's have another question. Let's answer the question.
Okay, wait a minute. There we go. Okay, Laura is saying, I recently used good quality saw blades for the first time, and it was so much better than the cheap ones I have been using. A totally different experience. What's your favourite brand of saw blades?
We did a bit of a test. I think we had 5 different saw brands. We did a blind test, and that wasn't as actually the people cutting out were blind. Well, we had them completely anonymous blades. We had Louise did it, I did it, Lee did it, and also Jason did it as well. We went through it all, picking our best blades, and we found out,
Yeah, I just wondered what's going on downstairs.
Oh, that's at the back.
Oh, is it? Okay, that's a few.
We did find that even the unbranded blades were pretty good, but we found out that the best blades were the branded. Things like Super Pike and Velourbe were the best. You can't go wrong with a branded blade. It has to be branded. The uniformity of the teeth are going to be pretty much spot on. So yeah, so again, within our store, atthebench.store, we only stock branded blades. I think we sell Gold Shark, Velourbe and Super Pike. So they're the brands that we do recommend, and it does make a world of difference when it comes to your piercing. Absolutely. Do you have another question, Lou?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, Janet just logged in to say hi. Hiya, Janet.
Hey, Janet.
Back from shopping. Lots of preparation to do before all the kids and grandchildren arrive for holiday. Oh,
wow,
fab.
nice.
Lovely. Stephen's saying because it's not harming any live species. Oh, that's going back to the ivory, the mammoth ivory, because obviously they've already sadly become extinct. Or not so sadly, do they? Are they friendly creatures?
Who? Elephants?
Woolly mammoths.
Perhaps they were in their time? Don't know.
Okay.
Around.
Okay. Oh, bro, congratulations.
I'm going to sneeze.
Yep, that's brilliant. I'll give you a call later. Cool.
Oh, excuse me.
Excellent. Questions, where are your questions?
My mic's gone a bit quiet, is it?
I think that was earlier on, that's
Is
okay.
it? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think we're all right.
Good, good, good.
Kristen started using hot glue on a wood dowel for jump rings and they stay put.
Excellent.
Good.
We love a glue gun. You love a glue gun, don't you, Louise?
I do love a glue gun. I just break them though, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Okay. So highly cracked and poor quality is not usable woolly mammoth ivory for our trade.
Depends
Okay.
what you do with this, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Tammy's saying I bought some coil cutting pliers for holding coil while cutting jump rings, but also found it easier to hold the coils.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Susan used large nails, cut off the ends, cut a groove with a separating disc. That's not downstairs.
It is downstairs. You have the window open in your office.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? What are you doing?
That's where you can hear it. That's outside.
Sounds like a big kerfuffle. IB Gamma, I'm sure you already made a video about it, but what kind of gas mixture do you use to melt silver?
You can do Sally Spencer's book for me? No, we can do that after, are we?
I've done it, haven't I? Or change the... Yeah, I'll do it afterwards, yeah.
Afterwards,
I need to get into, yeah.
So what are we doing?
What kind of gas mixture do you use to melt silver?
So, yeah, you can use these torches. These are little butane torches. So the butane gets stored in the handle. This will melt silver. It'll melt, depending on the size. We've got two different sizes. We've got the small one, we've got the slightly larger one. This is the Durston ones. Don't worry about, don't get the Cyclone. Not much point paying the extra. This is the Durston Tools one. Again, we sell these in the store. Absolutely brilliant. These will melt about 20 grams of silver. Butane. The thing is with butane, it is a brilliant gas, but it is a single gas. If you want to melt something that's a greater quantity, perhaps use something like a Sievert torch. That's pretty good. That then uses propane, and usually then you go up a level. These are great disposable canisters. You squirt the gas into the bottom here. It's like a cigarette lighter gas, okay? Like the lighters that you use for lighting candles. It's butane. It's great, it burns, and it's fantastic. Go up a level, go into propane, okay? Propane burns at a higher temperature, but then you also means you've got to have bigger tanks. If you go up to the Sievert, you can get different nozzles. You get the nice handle, you can get the pencil nozzle, you can get the big burners, 3941 for instance, and that is great for melting about 2 ounces, perhaps even 2.5 ounces of silver. What's that, 60, 70 grams of silver. It will melt it. Make sure that you just don't simply have a soldering block. Make sure you put the blocks around where you're melting to reflect the heat back, because there is a lot of heat being reflected back, which is going to be keeping the crucible nice and warm. Then if you want to go up a next level again, you can get things like a Smith's little torch, which is something like this guy here. Will this reach? Yes, it will. This is a Smith's little torch. Again, this uses propane, but it also uses compressed air, gas, propane and the air. We've got it hooked up to an oxygen converter, or you can actually buy the canisters. If you do buy the small disposable oxygen canisters, you will go through them like wildfire. So I wouldn't recommend them, but an oxygen propane gas, if you're in the UK and you want to set up a Smith's torch, crack on and get it from Tufnell Glass. They will supply you with the whole kit for hardly, I was going to say next to nothing, but it's not. But it's going to be a far better bargain getting the Smith's little torch, the flashback arresters, the hoses, the piping, and the oxygen from them. So the answer was all of them. Propane will melt it, but depends upon the quantity. You want to melt small little quantities on a charcoal block. These little guys are going to do exactly what you want. You want to melt up a larger quantity, perhaps you're doing some Delft clay casting or cuttlefish casting, definitely get something with a bit more oomph to be able to help you melt it. Yes, Lou, may we have another question, please?
Yes, we may. Delmar asked about the Presidium Gem Pro. Haven't used it. Love to have a try. But yeah, I just pointed him in the direction of Dimitri.
Yes.
who I know has used it and loves it.
So what is the Gem Pro?
The Gem Pro, Presidium Gem Pro.
Is that
this is the Gem Tester?
That connects up to your computer?
I think so, yeah.
Just like the gauge that you've got?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Gemology Obsession. He's on Instagram and Facebook, more active on Insta. And he's a good one to follow anyway. So, yes, he'll be able to give you some advice on that one.
Yes.
Yeah, tell him we recommended him, please. Okay.
You off? How's
The
your
battery's gone.
How's that? Better? You on now?
I think so.
Is you lit up?
Are we all right?
You lit up on that?
Yes.
Good, good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Am I there? Am I here?
So then the best thing to do is to have your back plate and your bezel. Okay, so here is your stone, okay? And you put that upon a back plate, and then you'd have the edge of the stone coming over. Perhaps your stone, the edge of the stone is this sort of shape. Okay, and you may have some carving like this. You're with it, Lou?
Yes, I'm fine, yeah.
And then you'd burnish the edges over the stone. If the edge of the stone is this shape, you have to have the bezel higher than midpoint to be able to get that metal over the edge of your stone. And without actually seeing it or having it in my hand, it'd be very difficult to tell you exactly what's what. But 1/3 of a millimetre thickness, I think, which would be fine. Anything thicker, and you may have problems getting it over the edge of the stone. That's my impression of a carved stone. Who knows? Yes, Louise. That's as best as I can do without knowing the best way of actually doing it, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Yes, Louise, I have another question.
Good. Ian is making a necklace of old silver coins. I want them to be nearly touching but still able to flex. How would you make a hidden joint that doesn't add much thickness to the back and not be visible?
Say that again from the start.
Making a necklace from old silver coins.
Yes.
I want them to be nearly touching but still able to flex. How would you make a hidden joint that doesn't add much thickness to the back and not be visible?
So, again, without knowing exactly, what I would be inclined to do and what we've done in the past is make up a jump ring. Oh, let me put on on you. There we go, that's better. So make up, I'll look down upon the top of this. So you make up a jump ring, okay, that is exactly the same diameter as your coin, okay. So this is your jump ring, and this is another jump ring here. So you don't want them touching. So perhaps what you would do, it's very hard to make some sort of articulated joint without it showing. Okay, that's going to be really hard. The easiest way to do it is to solder on a little half a jump ring here and have another half a jump ring going through it. So it's going to be that sort of shape here, upon to the jump ring that comes round, and then the other one then would be coming through it like that, and that would be your other jump ring down here. Okay, and then the coins then will fit over the top of it. So if you can make this as small as possible, that would come through. Here's your jump ring. This would be your coin here. Not very good, Andrew. And this would be your coin here. So all you see is just the little jump ring sticking through like that. That would be your best bet. If you're not really too sure on that, you can always make 2 little half rings that's attached to your coin or to your jump ring, and then attach that with a jump ring. That's going to be the simplest and easiest way that you're going to be able to do it. You could get away with something like a hinge, but then you're looking at things that may be a little bit too difficult, not difficult, but arduous in task. Solder on a link there, solder on a bit of metal there. Here's your jump ring here, solder on another jump pin here, and put a pin through. And make that more of a knuckle, make it more of a hinged. If you have it whichever way, it's going to be completely good. If you have it as a necklace, actually, this may be a better idea, because you could put that towards the top here. So then the coins are going to be able to be going this way and have the little jumpings on the top, jumping on the top, jumping on the top, joined it like that. And that would be a better way of doing it, because all the coins then are likely to be articulated and joined. And the reason why I'm saying this, I haven't come to something just quite yet. So this jump ring that you've made for the coin to sit on, you would then solder on 4 little claws on the side. So when your coin fits in, you just bend the claws over onto the edge of the coin slightly. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah.
So if I have a problem, just let us know.
Okay.
Let's have another question.
Okay, Phil is saying, I did ask this in an email, but here goes again. What do you put into your ultrasonic, please?
Make sure it's ultrasonic fluid. It's I use something called, in the past, haven't used it for a while, and it's called Dual Clean. And I get that from Betts. I'm not quite sure whether they do it. Still. And I buy it by the 5 litre. And that's the cheapest way of getting it. It's called Dual Clean. I can't remember who sells it. It's a Haggerty. I can't remember. It comes in a 5 litre. I find that is really good. I've got one at the moment that I'm using, but I find it very gloopy. And it's when it's in the container.
It's slimy, isn't it?
Slimy. It's like
you take a ring out and there's like a film in there, and it's thick and
it's
viscous.
Like ectoplasm from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's like synthetic saliva or something, isn't it? It's horrible.
It is not good.
I mean, it's good. It does the job, but it just feels so icky.
It does. It feels very, yeah. So don't use don't use fairy liquid. It's not made for cleaning. It does a job. It does a job. It cleans your plates well, cleans the grease off your pans. But when it comes to in an ultrasonic, it's not made for an ultrasonic. So don't bother. Get yourself some ultrasonic solution. If you want the biodegradable stuff, you can use that. There's some pretty good quality ones on the market. I don't find them as good as the normal ones. In the old days, you used to use ammonia. My God, that was the best, but it really did hurt your eyes. So nowadays, they're all non-ammonia based. Dual Clean is pretty good from Betts Metal Sales. Buy it by the 5 litre. It'll be a lot better. It has to come by courier because it's classed as a dangerous substance. It's a cleaning solution. How is that dangerous? I don't know.
Chemicals.
Okay, it's got chemicals in it then. Whatever. It's got
schmemicals. No, Andrew.
What the heck? Health and safety.
It's marked as dangerous for a reason, so please be careful and read the cost sheet.
It cleans the solution, so it's clean and it's lovely, it's delicate to your hand. So I mean, if you have favourite liquid posted, it's got to come as courier because it's chemicals.
I think you're being silly now.
Okay. So that is definitely what I would use. It's got to be an ultrasonic solution, made for an ultrasonic. Don't get away with anything else. You won't be happy with it. It's got to have ultrasonic solution written on it. Yes, Lou.
Okay.
I'm going to look into that. Favourite liquid's got to come by courier.
Oh, here we go. Right, what have you started? Right.
No, what's you started?
Natty is saying, hello guys, I'm absolutely loving it. Congratulations and thank you. I would like to know, how do you protect the stone to repair a gold ring? You want something called, thermogel or cool heat. Okay, so these are 2 products. We sell thermogel because we love thermogel. It's at the bench.store.
Okay, so we sell Thermogel. It's brilliant. I did a film on YouTube many years ago. It was a very foolish film, Andrew, very foolish, where I put some, can't remember, it was one or the other. I put that on the palm of my hand and I put some gold onto that product, and we got the flame, and we put the flame onto the molten gold on top of my hand, and the flame melted the gold. My hand was perfectly fine underneath it. The heat didn't go through. So if you
we do not recommend that you do that.
I said, no, I said it's a silly thing, so please do not
try it.
Do not replicate that at home, only if you're a professional like me.
Just don't replicate
Just
it at home.
don't do it at all.
Very silly.
Very silly, Andrew. So either of those, make sure you put a good coating. Not a very thin film, but what I try to do is put a nice big dollop on my my soldering block. Normally there's a corner of my soldering block. This I usually use for that sort of thing. Make sure the stone gets put into it, so perhaps the shank sticking out. Make sure you've got at least 8-10 millimeters thickness all the way around it, and that will really help protect the stone. It's not guaranteed, because obviously you need a torch that's really, really hot. Don't try and use something as small as this for doing a heavy shank, because the heat will be transmitted through to the stone. The idea is you've got to get in and out fast, like the SAS. In and out fast, that's where a Smith's little torch is absolutely fabulous because of the heat. The faster, the hotter the flame, the better, the quicker you can get the job done, the less chance you've got of ruining the stone. So either one of those. I think we sell Thermogel, small little container. You can reuse it. We take it off the block once we've used it, put it back into the container, and it will last you years. I can guarantee that. Another question then.
Yeah.
Shall we? So yes, so Sally Spencer's book, $27.99, free postage within the UK. Don't forget, you've got to put in the code that is on the product page to get your free postage. Yes, Lou.
Okay, Jim is saying, in our group Inspiring Metalsmiths Jewellery, a photo showed a flat shaft hang low. Yours seems to be nice and high. What's your take on that? Commenter said it will wear out too low.
I think the way I look at this, I even think that this is too low. This needs to go higher, because the idea is when you are working, your flex shaft shouldn't dip down like this. Okay, so I'm working away like this, the flex shaft goes down and then it goes up. I think this is bad. Louise has tried this. She finds that because it's like this, it's constantly pulling her hand down like this, and she's finding it a constant battle trying to lift this up to work because of the weight of the shaft. So in theory, I would say this needs to go, see if I can do this high. So this, I would say, needs to go higher, so when you're working, okay, the shaft could rest upon the bench, but it doesn't have all the weight pulling down. It's just up here now, and there's less weight being pulled down, gravity.
So the weight is being taken by the handle.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the flex shaft is up here, it's lifted this up and out of the way. That is what I would recommend. What I would not recommend is having this, and you can get bench mounted brackets so you can mount this on your bench. But again, the problem is the flat shaft is running down your bench and then it's coming back up. And the least amount of resistance in this shaft, the better. It's not going to wear the shaft out as fast as if it was all like this. Something like this, you've got the friction all the way along this, and it's going to wear the shaft out a lot quicker than if it was like this, just simply coming down.
So you want to keep it as straight as you can, and you don't want too many kinks, yeah. Is that what you're saying?
A nice, simple, single curve like that. You don't want to do this because it comes curve and a curve, more resistance, it's going to wear out, and you're going to have to lubricate your shaft a lot more regularly and maintain it than if you just simply had that. Especially
because you tend to sit in the same position, don't you? And so it's going to be the wear and tear on the same place continually, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. So that's what I would recommend. If you want to, you can put it on your desk, but I don't like that at all. So I always have mine hung as high as possible, just so we've got the shaft coming down. Nice, easy curve like that. Absolutely.
Good.
That's your laptop. Let's have another question.
Okay.
So to make this the last question, it is now 5 o'clock. Let's make this the last question.
Okay. Dolores is saying, I only have propane in my studio. It isn't always easy to melt silver. Is it okay to try reheating silver that has been overheated in smaller amounts, not boiled, just overheated, or have I ruined it?
Yeah, you should be able to. I would have thought you're not really going to ruin the silver too much. I would not have thought the propane would really boil the metal. So I think you should be all okay with that. If you can't melt down a big amount, just melt down smaller amounts if you can. Propane is great if you can have it with like a Hoke or Hokey torch, but make sure the burner is big. Make sure you get enough heat and make sure you get the right placement of the nozzle in placement to the molten silver, so you have the hottest part of the flame on the silver itself. You should find the silver should melt down. So you should be okay. I would have thought if you're casting something, so the silver doesn't have to be moved or manipulated, and when you cast it, it stays in that shape. If you have boiled the silver or whatever, overheated it, you should still be able to cast it without a problem. You may have a problem if you start to work the metal, whether you hammer it or roll it, anything like that. If it has had too much heat to it, you may find that the overheating will burn away some of the properties of the alloys, which may make the silver perhaps not work properly. It may be too brittle, maybe too hard, and no amount of annealing it will help. So if you do have silver that you have overheated, you know you've overheated, keep that silver for casting and you should be able to cast with it fine.
Good.
How about that?
Good.
Have to call it, yep.
Yep. Dalmar's saying, Andrew and Louise, I just want to say that I really appreciate you guys and thank you so much. I've learned so much from you guys in the last 7 months.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Really
thank
do
you.
appreciate that. That's very kind. Very
Fab.
kind. Yes. So how about that? Should we end it there?
I think so.
Yeah. I think we should just browsing, just quickly browsing through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
We're going to have to cut it short. Not cut it short, but it's 5 o'clock today. Thank you all for watching. We're going to be disappearing now. We are in the process of putting together our next workshop, which is pricing for. Everyone says pricing for profit, don't they? Getting the price right if you have a little bit more overheads, and that's going to be our next workshop.
I think if you rely that much more heavily on your income as a jeweller, perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If it's not
if you're having to, yeah.
If it's not a second income.
Yes, or if it's not a hobby and not a second income or not a supplemental income, but something that you have to completely rely on or something you're thinking of doing to rely on if you're making a switch, then it'll be really useful.
It'll be a definite good workshop to watch.
Yeah.
We're going to be going into things a lot more detail. We're still going to be utilising what we learned in the last workshop. We won't be going into an awful lot of detail on that, but there's going to be a lot more that we're going to look at. Things, as I said, depreciation, overheads, costings, website costs, and everything that is going to make some sort of a difference to your pricing. You're still going to have the usual things, consumables, and everything else. So if you want to watch the workshop, it's going to be in 2 weeks' time. Gen up on the last workshop. If you're a paid member of At The Bench, it's there ready waiting for you. Just go and check it out and be prepared for the next workshop in 2 weeks' time.
Good. Susan is saying Louise wants articulated earrings. Thank you, I do, yes.
Really? Did you get that message? Did you get that message? Yes, I did very well, yes.
Yeah. Good.
It's very similar to like a tennis bracelet, isn't it? Where you have everything is that way. You want Sean's, do you?
Wow, Sean's got some ready-made up.
£550.
Yeah, but look how lush.
Yeah, okay. So everyone, thank you very much. Don't forget, you can download the spreadsheet to the workshop and also all the handout sheets if you're a paid member of At The Bench. We're going to have to sort out these workshops so people can pay. Sally Spencer's book. Go on to the store, atthebench.store. It's on the screen now, it's down there. And search for Sally Spencer, $27.99, free postage if you're within the UK. Louise has gone on the
Spectroscope.
That's the one.
Yes.
Spectroscopy.
Gemstone spectroscopy.
It sounds like you're like somebody from James Bond. The spectroscope.
A Bond girl.
A Bond girl. Yes. In the nicest possible way this time. A Bond girl. So Louise is going on the spectroscope course with Kerry.
What was that one you called me?
Let's not dwell on that.
What was her name?
Let's not go on to that. Helga. Let's not go on to that, was it?
It was the one when you said you like.
You like
Is
a
it
Bond?
Kleb? You like that woman on the Bond films, and like on the Bond film, and I thought you meant one of the Bond girls, but you meant
the
Kleb.
Kleb.
Yeah.
Kleb with the like the brogues where she taps
The
it.
villain.
Yeah. She taps her heels and the spikes come out the
That
back.
was it. Yeah.
Yes.
Lovely.
So yeah, I know how to impress a woman.
There
Is that
we
it?
are. Yes.
Transmission spectroscopy. Thank you, Susan.
Yes.
For that.
So that's what I'm doing. That's the 30th of September? Yes, 30th of September in Cardiff. So Cardiff is lovely. If you're not far from Cardiff, come along, I'll be there. And if you are far from Cardiff, give Cardiff a visit. It's lush.
Excellent.
And you can come to At the Bench HQ as well. Combine it with that.
Tammy Girl, £20 a month, a recurring membership. You don't have to have it recurring, you can just join for a month, or it's £180 for 1 year. If you stay for the second, third, fourth and consecutive, it's only £99 a month. So don't be put off by some of the prices you see out there by other membership sites. Ours is only £180. If you're in the US, it's about $200, way less than half of what other people are asking. And we have over 1,600 films to choose from about all sorts of techniques and everything, not just stone setting and soldering. It is everything to do with jewellery, it's business, it's marketing, it's stone setting, it's casting, cuttlefish, lost wax, delft clay, lots of other things, loads of techniques that nobody else covers in their workshops, but we do. Yes.
Yes.
I'm going now. I'm getting off my high horse now. Getting off my soapbox.
Good.
Excellent. All right, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming on this afternoon. Anything we need to say, Louise?
I think we've said it all, haven't we?
I think we have. Excellent.
Yes.
There we go. There we go.
Good.
All right, everyone. So everyone, take care. We will see you next Monday for our next Q&A. Don't forget, 2 weeks' time, the next workshop that will be announced.
£99. Yes, Helen, £99 a year after the first year.
After the first year. It's £180 for the first year, £99 consecutive years after that.
Yeah, for an unbroken membership.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent.
Cool.
Everyone, thank you very much for coming on today. Thank you all. Thank you for being paid members of At the Bench. We do appreciate it. Thank you for coming on today for today's chat, and we will see you this time next week. Don't forget, keep an eye on social media for everything that's going on here at Andrew Berry Jewellery and At the Bench. And for some, I did a reel the other day.
It's good.
Good reel. Thank you very much. I had to get you to walk me through it.
I've been tormenting you with that song as well, haven't I, ever since?
It wasn't easy. Reels are not easy. Time consuming.
No, they are. But then you get quicker as you do more and more, don't you? That's
practice.
the thing.
It's
Yeah.
practice, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely do reels. Reels are worth doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
So yeah, the first few might be a bit more time consuming, but then once you get better, you'll get faster, and they'll become
like
cooler.
In life, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, everyone, take care. We will see you all next Monday for our Q&A. It's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Louise.
Goodbye. Tammy, give me an email, Tammy, louise@andrewberry.co.uk. Okay.
Everyone, take care. See you next Monday for the next Q&A. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye.